HBO's Gentleman Jack is from Sally Wainwright, the brilliant British writer who came to fame with the cop show Scott and Bailey, the subtly realised police series featuring all female leads and which was full of calamity and intrigue. Her new series is set in 1832, part period drama and part love story, though it's also a kind of witty feminist discourse. Also directed by Wainwright, it tells the story of historical figure Anne Lister, played brilliantly by Suranne Jones, now known as the first modern lesbian, a wealthy independent landowner who was renowned in her time for dressing always in black without bothering to indulge in feminine frills like the others of her sex. She became known to locals as Gentleman Jack.
When the time comes, us landlords must make sure we give as good as we get.
Her lesbian lifestyle, however, was one of the best-kept secrets of her time, and Wainwright makes use of Lister's personal diaries, which she began to write at 15 and continued throughout many years of her life until her untimely death at age 49 while travelling in Russia. Extremely detailed, and much of them written in a code based on a combination of algebra and the Greek alphabet, which Anne referred to as her crypthand, the diaries record in more than 5 million words her passionate affairs with the many women who fell under her spell. And Wainwright allows Lister to speak directly to the camera to recreate the feeling and intimacy that she says can be had from reading her journals. The series begins as she returns home to Halifax from abroad after yet another of her lovers leaves her for the traditional security and respectability of heterosexual marriage. She soon meets Sophie Rundle's Anne Walker, a 29-year-old wealthy spinster, shy and a little unworldly, and attempts to rebound from her last relationship by capturing the younger woman's heart.
I loved this. I was so unaware of Anne Lister as a character. And, you know, the fact that she wrote this and wrote it in code. Sally Wainwright apparently got £30,000 to research the background for her to write this. I love the way it's been directed. I like the way Suranne Jones, who is fabulous in the role.
She is superb, isn't she?
It's like she's having a nod and a wink at the camera. I love that. It's like, come into my world and share this joke that I'm playing on the world. And I mean, a lot of it is really touching, you know, the way she goes to the wedding of her former lover. And it's actually quite poignant that she's lost this woman to a respectable marriage. I like the new romance. I think that's quite charming and actually touchingly real.
I've only watched it up until the end of the first episode, so she's only just met the new love of her life, and she's determined to capture her. And I think what Wainwright's done here is kind of invert the typical traditional Regency romance. Instead of it being a man chasing after a woman who's, you know, after a dowry or whatever, it's a woman doing it. So the whole idea of the Regency romance is completely inverted, which I thought was very clever. But I did have some misgivings, particularly in the first episode. Obviously, you having watched more,
I've just watched the two.
I've watched the two because the talking to the camera came and went. There was a little bit at the start and a little bit at the end.
I like that.
I would have liked more of it. But
I don't want more of it.
Well, it was a convention that didn't quite gel for me
I like the occasionality of it. And the other thing that's interesting as well, particularly in our age, it's the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, and she's got land with coal on it.
Yes.
And there's all that intrigue about the neighbours stealing the coal from under
it makes it very relevant to
and
Australia, where coal is king these days.
Well,
there is real resonance here.
It's sort of like this is the beginning of when it was needed and used, and the beginning of, you know, carbon, you know, getting up in the air. Like
I did get a little bit bored with the coal chat.
I'm hooked on this. I would give this absolutely 4 stars.
I'll give it 4 too, because Suranne Jones is just extraordinarily brilliant.
Miss Lister is one of the most interesting people I've ever met.
It appears you have my niece quite under your spell.
I rather think she has me under hers.
Have you done this before?
Of course not. I was born like this. Why should I compromise myself?
I intend to live with someone I love, with someone who loves me.
She wants to start running with the big dogs. She's going to find out what it's like when they start fighting.